Okay, welcome back. We are now on video 3 of 9, the jointer. Yesterday on the radio arm saw, I took my board and I cut it to two convenient lengths, one 35 inches and one 21 inches. With the jointer, there's a couple things that I want to review before I do the actual demonstration. Number one, there's no adjustments that you need to make to the jointer. Just like all the other power tools, you want to have the chute open and the dust collector turned on at the main power. Second thing is 4-inch margin of safety. Your fingers and hands do not go below the fence, which is a 4-inch height fence. So your fingers should never go below the fence. The on-off switch here in the front, you're going to feed from right to left, moving with the board. You don't want to take and jam your board into the cutter or the knives, all right, which may cause some damage. You want to keep the board flat on the table and against the fence. Okay, you don't want the board to be moving across the table and away from the fence, either at the top or at the bottom. And you're going to feed from right to left. With the joiner, the main purpose of the joiner is to smooth the edge of the board and make it straight. The wood that we buy from Appalachian hardwood comes surfaced, but the edges are left rough. So we need to joint the edge, just one edge, to make it smooth. You're always going to joint the best edge. Just like on the planer, you put the best surface down. Joiner, put the best edge down. And you're not just necessarily looking at the edge of the board, you're kind of looking to see if there's any bark or that could be missing, and this would be the better edge, so that's the edge that would go down. As far as speed, you just want to listen to the sound as your board is going across the cutter. So you don't want to go too fast, but yet you don't want to go too slow, or you'll burn the edge of your board by friction, the cutter being in one spot for too long. Try not to stop the board as you reposition your hand. So as you're pushing, if you remove one hand, just keep it moving and slide your other hand. Be careful not to slide down the edge or you'll get a splinter. As far as anything else, that's the main purpose. Smoothing the edge. Probably a minimum of 2 passes. Very rarely will you be able to get by with 1 pass unless it's already been partially jointed or it was a board that was already cut and somebody put back on a stack, or you brought in your wood from home. Normally 2 passes or more. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and demonstrate how to use the joiner. So I'm not going to turn the dust collector on due to the noise factor. I'm just going to put my safety glass on. Number 1, turn it on. Start on the right. Going steady. There's 1 pass. You can do a visual inspection. Okay. Second pass. Notice the board didn't move away from the fence. It kept it flat on the table. Longer boards are a little bit more difficult, but again, you want to start with the better edge down, do a visual. So if you didn't want that to be part of your project, this would be your better edge, because we'll get rid of that on the next step. Flat. Move again. I didn't stand back here and reach into it. Alright, I want to move right over the cutter and move in a constant, steady speed. So you can see from a rough edge now to a smooth jointed edge. What I'm making, this is the table that we make in Woods 1. So I'm making the legs, which you can see the long narrow pieces, and then one of the or 2 of the slats on the top. You can see how the table ends up coming together. This is actually step 1 to a 5-step process that I have a poster up on the bulletin board of how to square a board. Jointing one edge is step 1 of the 5-step process. We don't count the planer or the radial arm saw cutting to a convenient length as one of the steps. So this begins step 1 of the 5-step process. So a couple review things: 4-inch margin of safety, no adjustments, do not jam or force your board into it, move from right to left, keep your board flat on the table and against the fence, make sure the dust collector is on, and move at a steady speed. So again, this is the joiner, video 3 of 9. Thank you.